Welcome to all of our viewers out there to the Phoenix 76 Tech Talks. My name is Kim, and I am here with some of my sisters in tech. We'll start with some intros, and we'll ask that you tell us just a little bit about your journey. So at this time, welcome, Wandia. Let's start with you, girl.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Wandia, and I'm so excited to be here. I would like to just walk you through a little bit of my journey. I am one of those who's not traditionally a technologist, but I do work in tech and I do support technology. My journey started out way back when, I won't date myself or age myself, but across the seas, across the pond in the continent of Africa, I am an accountant by profession. I'm a trained CPA, and I worked in public accounting for almost 6 to 8 years, at which point I decided to leave the accounting field and join the banking field. And I've been in the banking field ever since. In the banking field, I've had a number of roles spanning from regulatory relations, credit and risk. I've also worked in project management, program management, portfolio management, and last but not least, and most recently, running a business management team. So really, you can tell my journey has spanned a pretty wide gamut, and I'm thoroughly enjoying supporting technology teams in my current role as a business management leader.
Nice. Thanks, Wandia. Yeah, very vast and varied background. So very interesting. And can't wait to hear about more. All right, Michelle, let's go with you next. Tell us who you are and a little bit about your journey.
Thank you, Kim. Hello, everybody. My name is Michelle, and my journey into tech it touched on multiple industries. Initially, it started in higher ed, then segued into hospitality, and after that, it was followed by telecommunications, where majority of my career set. And then once I exit telecom, that's when I started my my entry into the technology industry.
All right, thanks, Michelle. So, Mina, let's go to you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mina, and my journey into technology began as a little girl observing my father building a computer science department for Albany State University. And while watching him go to Georgia Tech and learn how to incorporate computer science using his mathematics background, I became excited in learning how to build new things and robots and computers. And so when I went to college after high school, I decided to go into engineering, and I ended up graduating with an electrical engineering degree from Auburn. And 4 days after graduation, hopped right into a customer service technical support role, supporting wholesale clients in the telecom industry. I grew up from a network engineer or network administrator through the ranks as a project manager, a staff manager, a program manager of technology, and ended up leading teams and leading organizations in program management, and finally leading HR and legal technology.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thanks, Mina. Yeah, so, this is really encouraging and inspiring to see you women succeeding and excelling in technology. And what we're going to really focus on this particular discussion is about non-tech careers. And so each of you have had something in your background that wasn't necessarily technology related, could be tech adjacent or just purely on the business side and whatnot. But let's talk a bit about how some various non-tech careers can play a critical role in supporting technology and the tech industry as a whole. Mina, we'll put that question to you since you're already talking.
Sure. So in my technology career, I have observed other industries like finance, people with finance degrees or heavy sales degrees, supporting our technology teams in building budgets, multi-million-dollar budgets to be able to support large strategic initiatives in the technology space. Those are critical skills. Even on my own team, I rely heavily on my finance partners, and also people with sales experience have been instrumental on our team in being able to build strategic plans and planning. And most importantly, project management and program management have played a paramount instrumental role in all of the technology roles that I've observed and been had the pleasure of leading. Project management and planning and executing tasks and collaborating with others, pulling together people to solve problems, issues, risks. All of those skills can be transferred from any number of project management roles in any industry. Even sales and finance, those roles themselves also bring those transferable skills to the table. So those are the main industries that I see that are really transferable for technology roles or supporting technology.
Good, makes sense. Yeah, and you mentioned project management. That's actually a good segue into our next question. And Wandia, I will look to you for this one. So how do non-tech roles such as project management and marketing and human resources contribute to the success of tech companies and projects?
Sure, Kim. Happy to take that one. As you know, let's even begin by defining what a project manager is, right? And that is somebody who truly helps organizations achieve their technology goals. And as Mina said, by planning and executing those ideas and goals, right? So today, as organizations become more and more reliant on technology, and technology departments are responsible for bigger and bigger and bigger budgets. And so really the role of a project manager is to be able to plan how those budgets are going to be spent. And that incorporates really breaking down large, audacious goals into small bite-sized chunks that are executable. And that is something that I've found really critical in my role and my experience in technology. They are big, massive, audacious strategies, but at the end of the day, somebody has to break them down and execute them and sequence them in a way that really delivers results. Now, I think a project manager is extremely critical in that role. Methodologies have changed over time. You know, previously we used to run a waterfall where, you know, you're finishing one thing and then starting another one and sequentially running them. And these days, you know, delivery has actually moved into things like methodologies like Agile. And project managers, even though, you know, the word project management doesn't really lend itself to agility or Agile practices, there is similar tasks whereby we are being iterative in the way we're developing and delivering these strategies. So, Kim, to answer your question, I think the role of a project manager is extremely critical in technology situations. And that allows the technologists to stay technical and really deal with those really critical pieces or the ability to write code that allows, you know, the technology to work. I say in conclusion, we are all running technology companies delivering services. It's a technology services delivering banking. It's a technology company delivering hospitality. It's a technology company delivering transportation. And therefore, the roles of the project managers have become really critical.
Yeah, very good. Absolutely. Yeah, technology is everywhere. And I always say project management is everywhere. That's always near and dear to my heart. That's my background. And no matter what type of project you're running, right, it doesn't necessarily have to be a technological or a technical space, but those are definitely skills that you learn in project management are definitely transferable, which will take me to Michelle on a similar question. Can you discuss some examples of non-tech professionals who have successfully transitioned into roles with the tech industry, and what transferable skills do they typically bring to the table?
Well, I can't think of any really off the top of my head, but I think back on my career progression, right? Throughout the years when I introduced myself, I told you I was working in higher ed. I was a minority recruiter from my alma mater, right? And then from there, because I was recruiting for the School of Hospitality or Hotel Restaurant Tourism, I went into hospitality and I was managing, you know, 4-star, 5-star hotels like the Sonesta chain and the Omni. And what I've taken from each of these positions as I went through, and when I was in telecommunications, I really went through from being account manager to a sales manager. And I think Mina even talked about how we interact with sales, right? And so, becoming a sales leader, transferred that into channel management, dealing with vendors, third party business partnerships. So when I started in tech or in the tech arena, working for a tech company, right? A SaaS company at that. And that was building partner ecosystem. So it really took on a lot of the experiences and skill set that I had developed over time of meeting people, networking, collaborating across multiple organizations. Because when you're developing partnerships, you're looking at finance, you're dealing with marketing, you interacting with legal to make sure all the contracting, everything goes well. And then finally, where I'm at now, as a customer success executive for the third largest tech company in the world dealing with SaaS, is you bring all of that. In addition, my strengths are, being analytic, being a people person, connecting, being an advocate for my customer, and really working all of those traits and skills, like I said before, that I've gained from the previous industries that I've worked in.
Okay, good, Michelle. Thank you. So let's sit right there for a moment. In your current role as a customer success executive, and having that customer experience, we understand, of course, that that's paramount in the tech industry. So how do customer support and success teams ensure positive interactions with customers and end users of tech products?
Well, my job is all about adoption of the technology that these companies purchase, right? You could buy solutions for a company, but if you are not, if your employees not using it, if your line of businesses are not engaging, then the project could kind of like all fall moot. Like if you listen to Wandia talk about being a project manager, taking all those times and sequencing and working across multiple lines of businesses, but you got to get people to adopt and use. And it's almost like a transformation project almost at that time, right? And even though I don't have a project manager title, but it becomes something like that. So then you look for ways to engage your customer, even from the C-suite all the way down to the end user level. You have to be able to have conversations at different levels, right? Because how I talk to a C-level may not be how I talk to a user. And then looking at the heads of the lines of the businesses, understanding what the key metrics that they're looking for. Some people say KPIs. So what is the business trying to gain? What are their objectives and goals from implementing this solution? And helping them drive those specific behaviors in their organization and making them aware of tools and resources that we have. So like in this particular company that I currently work at, we have training modules, we have learning modules, so that as releases and updates to the solution happens over the evolution of a certain time period, that they stay abreast of the education and knowledge of why is these updates and release are so useful and impactful to their organizations.
You make an extremely good point. You constantly have to stay abreast of any updates that are out there. Technology is constantly changing, and therefore the solutions have to change as well. Of course, right now, AI is all the buzz, right? You can't go anywhere or touch anything without hearing those two letters. And so, yeah, having training and whether it's on the job training or just doing your own self-initiated training, you definitely need to stay in learning mode all the time with technology because it's ever changing. Thank you. So let's do a little bit of a shift here into kind of a more a serious matter, so to speak, in terms of legal and regulatory challenges. And that's something that often plagues technology companies. So Mina, how do legal professionals support tech companies in navigating legal issues related to intellectual property, data privacy, and compliance?
Sure. So the most important assets that a company has is its data. And attorneys today will get involved in making sure that the company's assets, which is its data, are protected in a way that legally it is protected from being stolen or misused in a way that can be copyrighted or copyright misuse, intellectual property misuse, meaning a company owns its own data and cannot be used by other companies in certain ways. And so attorneys get involved in making sure that companies are protected per the law, as the law allows, using data as an example. Attorneys also get involved in protecting ideas. So another important asset that companies have are its ideas and things that they create. That's called intellectual property. And basically, intellectual property, if someone creates an idea belonging to a company, that idea belongs to the company. So attorneys will get involved in making sure that by law, that idea is protected. I can personally say that having been an employee of a Fortune 500 company, coming up with an idea myself, my idea was protected by the company via attorneys as I applied for patents and patent applications and ultimately receiving a granted patent. Attorneys were involved along the way from end to end. And even beyond, when I left the company, attorneys contacted me to make sure that I was okay with the company who owned that idea as being named an inventor, that I was okay with them republishing the idea under that company. They were reapplying that patent. So attorneys are involved from end to end in a variety of ways, but most importantly, protecting the assets of the company, which is its ideas and data.
Wow, how amazing is that? And thank you for sharing that part of your story. And it's great to hear. So that we understand that companies, of course, they have the buying power, if you will, to have attorneys that support them in that sense. But to hear that you have been able to successfully patent your ideas and have some legal support while doing that, as an individual, I mean, that's really amazing. And that's definitely promising to anyone in our audience out there who's looking or may have some ideas and want to be able to protect that. So really good stuff.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Mina. So we're going to bring this to a close shortly. I do have another question that I want to send over to you, Wandia. What advice would you offer to individuals who are interested in pursuing non-tech careers in support of technology? And what steps can they take to position themselves for success in these roles?
All right. This is a subject that's near and dear to my heart. And, as a non-tech professional, one of the areas that we are charged with is managing the workforce strategy. So in short, I think you're asking, what are we hiring for, or what skills are we looking for the non-tech careers? And in some cases, these are still the same skills that you would probably look for when you're hiring a tech individual. So let me go through a few, and I'm not going to go through kind of some traditional ones. I'll start with the first one. So, obviously you've heard Mina and Michelle talk about data and data assets. And so, certainly in there, you've seen there's some competency or some aptitude for data that technology companies would need to have in their workforce, right? Both technical and non-technical. One of the ones that I think are really critical is critical thinking. In this era of fake news, social media, information overload, critical thinking becomes a top competency where somebody is able to really pick and choose the data and arrive at conclusions that are based on data. I always say, let data be the bad guy. So that's one, critical thinking, right? So don't base it on hearsay or what you had or personal opinions or biases. Let data lead and tell the story. So that would be the first one. Another one is emotional intelligence, right? So we always, and I know that if I was to speak to my younger self, I probably wasn't very emotionally intelligent, and I was likely a very emotional person, right? So it's really the ability to express and control our emotions and communicate objectively about, again, same things, opinions and positions. And just that ability to regulate yourself, right? Creativity, right? We've talked about all of these companies being technology companies that are really looking to enhance and delight the client. So it's all about the client experience. So how creative is this person to be able to ideate and demonstrate that they have brought some ideas to life? And they don't have to be like big technological things. If somebody built a little something at home and that something became, those are the kinds of things that I think hiring managers are looking for. Collaboration. Are you able to collaborate with peers? Are you able to work well with people? Are you able to bring different people together? Because remember, we talked about project management. There's different opinions, different perspectives. Can we collaborate as a team and make sure that we're working together? Flexibility. Are we open to change, right? In technology, things happen. There's no precedence. Are you flexible enough when there's no precedence, right? And I think the last one that I'd really offer is time management. Can you manage yourself? Remember, we work from home sometimes, we don't. We're coming into the office. It's a hybrid workforce. How are you able to truly manage your own time? So Kim, I know I didn't go the traditional route, but I just thought that those would be some good nuggets for somebody starting out in their career to consider, other than, certifications and badges are great. We love those, but we are also looking for some of these other soft skills that will, and how do those come through in your interviewing process?
No, thank you, Wandia. Those are very, very good words of wisdom. I think that helps to bring all of this home that we've discussed during this panel conversation. You can certainly take whatever your background is. You don't have to have formal training in technology. You can be able to draw from your experiences, whether it has been in hospitality or in project management or human resources or whatever the case may be, and be able to apply those into a tech career, a non-tech career, a tech adjacent career. Doesn't matter. There's some flexibility there. But we did touch on, training is key and being able to understand that. And again, it doesn't have to be through a formal accredited four-year college type of program or anything, but just being able to take advantage. Of course, today we know there's a such thing as YouTube University, so
Right.
you can pretty much learn skills from anywhere nowadays. So thank you. I do want to just offer up, are there any final words from anyone real quickly that you want to share before we close out?
No, just thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, it was great to be here, Kim, as usual.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies, to my sisters here. I really appreciate your time. This has been great catching up. Even though it's virtual, it's always a pleasure to meet with you guys. You all are rock stars, and I really appreciate your insights and all of the helpful nuggets that you dropped on this during this discussion. And I do want to thank everyone that's out there watching us. Again, welcome to the Phoenix 76 Tech Talks. There are more videos on our channel, so be sure to check them out. All right. Take care, everybody. Thanks, Mina, Wandia, and Michelle. Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Bye.